Sam, let's start with you.
I would love to be wrong with my prediction, but I think Saints at home is going to be a close one. I think Saints could just nick this one.
I reckon exactly the same, 16 points to St Helens. But how exciting, Brian, is it when we've been wrong this season? It's going to be a fantastic game and all that for sure.
And you've been excited plenty of times this season, Jamie Jones Buchanan. Let's go over to our commentary team for this one. John Wells and Dave Woods.
Thanks, Brian. Well, they've served up a spicy mix between them, these two, haven't they, down the years? We've just seen some of that. But St Helens Centurions in their last two games, 100 points racked up against Castleford and Leeds. They are in the mood. Aaron Moore, our referee tonight, Jack Smith, the video referee. But Catalan have been St Helens bubble poppers in recent times, beaten them in each of the last 5 meetings. And John Wells, do you see that continue here tonight?
Yeah, evening, Dave. Well, look, I will say, while sitting on the fence, that I do think this is going to be a really tough and bruising encounter. Have the Catalan Dragons got it in their armory to turn over the Saints, the tight Saints this evening defensively? I'm not sure.
Well, Jordan Abdul gets us underway with a big left boot, sending it downfield. It's slightly odd, doesn't it? Catalan are looking a bit like Saints tonight in the colours they're wearing. But Catalan in that white and the Sangayor, and St Helens in the mainly black here tonight, with first touch of the ball buzzing, no doubt, the Saints fans after what they saw against Leeds last week and Castleford the week before. Can they serve up more of the same? It's fair to say that both these sides have been denied quite a few first-team regulars, main stars in their pursuit of glory, but let's see how some of these second-stringers go along tonight, sprinkled in amongst some of the superstars as well. Now with the carry, that's tackle 5. So St Helens on the 6th. Clark gets in at dummy half, and the kick downfield inevitably from Lewis Dodd, and he's going to be caught at the back bar by Cesar Rouget and brought forward in the first instance by Tom Davis.
Yeah, very efficient first defensive set for the Catalan Dragons. Really interesting positional selections from Steve McNamara. Necessity has forced Artur Morg into the number 9 role. I've no doubt whatsoever he'll be targeted throughout the course of this game.
He's never started there before for Catalan, but he has come off the interchange bench a time or two as Artur Morg down the years in that dummy half role. So he's not exactly a total stranger, but they've got so many problems in that position, haven't they? Mickey McAlorum, Ulrich da Costa, and Ugo Tyson, who would have been backup as well, but he's at the London Broncos at the moment.
Yeah, I think Steve McNamara needed Ben Garcia back in that 13 role. I think he felt like he gained so much more having him back in his natural position.
Abdul kicking on that final play, and it's gathered in by Wellesby safely enough, and it's all fairly standard at the moment, isn't it? Both sides just testing each other out in the early stages as Blake picks himself up. Oh, and Percival's dropped it. Percival's dropped it, and that has given Catalan, in these very early minutes, a wonderful attacking opportunity here. Can Saints regather in defence, or do Catalan take advantage here? Garcia in, 10 metres away. Just looking to provide one of those big runs that he's famous for, Mark Percival. Another set of 6 as well. So lots of time to go here in this set. Fage is put down 5 away. It's Busquets, dummy half, who's playing in the back row today. Another sign of what Steve McNamara has had to do in terms of juggling personnel. Abdul helps it along the way. Sims gets it onto Laguerre, but across comes Hurrell with a crunching effort, and heads by Mbaye. Catalan are forced to stop there. Abdul again, inside again. Rouget just looking for some of the big fellas to take it down the middle. His rear is up and plays, and a step back again by Rouget, and Catalan are just finding some attention here and some hope. I think, was that a Hurrell hand? I think it was. Yes, it was. So it's another set of 6, and brought back again by Johnston. They're setting up camp here at the moment. Quick play the ball. Moore coming left again. Desaria tries to bulldoze his way over. Morg in there. St Helens calling for help on that left-hand side. The passing wasn't as sweet as it could have been. It just denies them an opportunity. Abdul goes out of dummy half. Back comes Sims. St Helens having to work hard here. They have been mean in defence all year, but they are being tested early here. Abdul again. Back to Garcia. Little sway of the hips. And put down on the 10. So Morg now. Looking right this time. Farge once more. Looking to create some numbers here if they can. But a scything effort on Ikuvalu puts him down. And they're on the last play. Last play again. 6 tackle. Kick takes a deflection. Is this going to be another set? Yes, it is. It's another set for Catalan. Wow, this is the 3rd consecutive set on the St Helens line here.
Yeah, they're going to have to sort themselves out, the Catalan Dragons attack. It has been really one-dimensional. Too easy for Saints to defend against so far.
Well, there was that telling stat that Sam was telling us about and illustrated by Jamie Jones-Buchanan in the build-up about the number of plays the ball's needed for Catalan to score at this end of the field. And there is another 18 or so that they failed to come up trumps.
Yeah, look, they got frustrated faster than St Helens did. They got more frustrated in attack with a really heavy catch and pass from Mathieu Legueur than Saints did with defending. You know that St Helens, it's in their DNA, isn't it? They're willing to defend. And Steve McNamara is understandably really frustrated with the outcome because they have set up camp down at that end of the field. And there you go. There is the statistical reflection of what we've just seen play out over the last 2 or 3 minutes or so. 52 play the balls. That's plenty of sets. My maths isn't cracking, but that's lots of sets of 6. And evidence, once again, that it hasn't quite been rectified just yet.
Well, they're already getting close to that average again here, aren't they? Or will be if they carry on in that respect. But let's take our hats, tip our hats to St Helens' defence as well, because that has been pretty good as well this year and was pretty good there too in closing things down. Bell skips back on the inside. A crash and a carry from Delaney. Saints looking to extricate themselves as quickly as they can here. Dodd goes left. This is with Sirenen, who pops it back into the hands of Dodd, and now Percival with a step off that left foot.
Now, you can see something else here emerging. Julien Bousquet, we know him as a prop, a north-south prop. He's playing out in the back row again through necessity today. You get the feeling already that Theo Farge outside him, he's going to feel a little exposed. He's not used to that position. He's a big boy, is Julien Bousquet, and he's very effective through that middle third. Playing a little wider does make you feel a little more vulnerable.
Here comes Davis with a carry. Quickly into dummy half and chance to move things left through Johnston. On his way back to Wakefield next year, of course, Tom Johnston.
And he's really improved as a Catalan Dragon as well. I think he's taken giant steps forward in his career in this last couple of years.
Not a lot of go forward here. Roman Neveret's just a couple of strides before he's met by that St Helens wall. So it's with Abdul, launches its back. Hurrell blocked any passing opportunities. And a close-in by Mbai as well. So on the last play, Abdul left-footed. Hurrell got to him as well. He looks like a man on a mission tonight, Conrad Hurrell. And he bounces out of play. And a tap back on the 20.
Yeah, the kick overcooked by Jordan Abdul. Will be disappointed with that. Good kick pressure by Conrad Hurrell.
Well, Blake's going to have a go himself here in this 0 tackle to start St Helens off on that 30-metre mark. So 6 plays to go from here. Tommy Makinson will have a carry. Made that landmark 200th St Helens try last week, of course. Still be celebrating that, no doubt. Hurrell, taken in this time by a big effort from Matotia. By across the face. Dodd puts it back. Wellesby's getting involved. Percival with a step. Oh, and he's thrown it to the wrong man. Straight into the hands of Busquets. And Catalan have it back rather cheaply.
I'll tell you what, they went there because Julien Bousquet bit in early on in the play, but he's covered up really well. Just a forced pass back on the inside by Percival, and Bousquet tracking across. He comes up trumps.
Abdul running into a little pocket to try and create a bit more space. Cutting back is Sims. Morgs in there again. Desiree was to his right, but he's tracked left, and Garcia with a half break. Oh, and it's knocked down by Hurrell. So it'll be possession back to Catalan here, all things being equal.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul Wellens will be happy with his defence. I mean, the St Helens players have done what has been asked of them and tackled what's been in front of them, but he will not be happy with the loose arms and loose legs that keep offering the Catalan Dragons more and more possession. You look at the possession stats for the opening 8.5, 9 minutes of the game. Over 2/3 possession for the Catalan Dragons. St Helens have done nothing but defend.
It'll take a bit out of the tank, that as well, won't it? From the later stages. So the feed is from Abdul, and taken on again by Fage, and here's Rouget. So Catalan find themselves again in potential striking distance. But what can they make of it this time? Garcia puts the handbrake on, and then almost a full turn. Oh, he's popped it back, he's kept it alive. Kept it alive, and Morg very nearly let that slip because he wasn't concentrating.
That's fair reactions from Artur Morg, though, isn't it?
But they keep a hold, and Fage dropping it up, and it's worked. Rouget further right. Ikevalu's going to be dragged down, but they're getting close. Picked up by Morg, goes far right. Davies has to cut back in inside. The daylight suddenly disappeared in that corner. So St Helens doing their job, and Davies, well, quite clearly Davies is hurt there. Able to play. Garcia, Abdul puts the kick for Johnston to chase. Has the bounce. There it is. And Catalan silencing the crowd. Tom Johnston's early score. If they can't find a pass to get through, then at least they have Abdul's boot. And Catalan open the scoring.
Yeah, it was brilliant finishing work from Tom Johnston. He called the play. The entire left-hand edge for the Catalan Dragons were really, really flat. I think they were sick of the ball going through hands and just getting chopped down by Saints defenders. Take a look at the bottom of your screen. You'll see arms going out. Really, really flat. Tom Johnston was on his bike, got a favourable bounce, and got there just before Jack Wellesby did to open the score, and that has silenced the crowd. You can hear a pin drop in here, and it's been a laboured first 10 minutes from the Catalan Dragons in attack, but they finally have breached that St Helens defence, and Tom Johnston, who else comes up with the first try for the Dragons?
6 of the season. He ain't prolific so far this year, is he? But he's chiming in with another one. And a kick to come here as well, and it's like a library in here at the moment. It's the Dragons who've got themselves off to a wonderful start. St Helens barely touched the ball, and when they have, a couple of handling mistakes has just gifted it back to Catalan here.
Yeah, it's just been a little bit loose. Couple of lazy arms there. Conrad Hurrell stuck out an arm. There was Simmons stuck out a foot, probably unnecessarily. And weight of possession does finally tell. Even if your spine is not clicking, the Catalan Dragons, they fielded 10 different 1, 6, 7 and 9 combinations in 13 rounds. Ridiculous. I don't know how you settle with that.
So Artur Morg given a great chance of kicking this from the touchline. 58%. Here he goes, looking for his 40th successful kick of the year, and there it is. There it is, and Catalan lead by 6 points to nil. And Gouache, the man behind, the man with the money behind this Catalan club, will be very pleased with what he's seen so far.
Well, I'll tell you what, 2 good kicks here. The first one came from the boot of Jordan Abdul in general play. Look, just eyes up, sees Tom Johnston pointing to the corner, gets the bounce. And then the kick from the touchline from Artur Morg was something special. And they count. I mean, look, they count for 2. We know that. But against St Helens, at St Helens, they are really significant additions.
Remember, with an eye on that league table, St Helens win tonight, and they strengthen their place at the top. Oh, there's a hit. And Sione Matortia is being patted on the back by Conrad Hurrell for his efforts there. And they're going to make it as hard as possible here for Catalan to get out.
Oh, right in the guts of Romain Navarrete. It's going to take a while. He's still down receiving treatment. I think he's checking his ribs.
Caesarea up to play. Rouget goes right. Catalan looking to gather in the yard. So Saints looking to strengthen their place at the top, but of course Catalan win here. They move back level again, don't they? So it remains very, very tight. That's untidy. They haven't got away with it, and it's their turn, the French side's turn, to give a needless error away. And St Helens the chance to prosper here. Yeah,
there's no need for it either. Garcia is trying to force a pass when it's not on, inside their own 40. Bumps off the first challenge, but there's no need for that, really. And then Busquets not able to tidy up.
Navarrette's coming off here, isn't he? And onto the field comes Chris Satai. It's a head injury. Huddersfield with an early lead against Hull FC. I say early, they kicked off before us, didn't they? So they've gone a decent distance in that game. They lead Huddersfield 12 points to 0. Looking for their first home win of the season.
Well, Romain Navarrete may be going off for a head injury assessment, but I tell you what, it'd be his ribs that'll be getting the serious working over. That was some shot from Sione Matautia.
Cicero was back towards the middle of the park. He's had an effortful first 40 minutes. And St Helens with their first opportunity to build inside their opponent's half. Another set of 6. Restart given. It's Delaney. Clark. An arrowhead of attack goes left to Dodd. Dodd to Wellesby. Back for Percival. Percival with that little last-minute footwork trying to get his way through, but read easily by the Catalan defence. Now it's with Bell. Dummies to Delaney. Puts it back again. Into the hands of Dodd, who's immediately squashed by Desiree. Threat snubbed. Bell again. Pass too flat. Fancied his footwork. Couldn't find a way through. So here's Clark. Dodd. Sirenan's made the run. And he is the target of the pass, but he's given it away again. And Julia Busquets, I think that's his second intervention so far tonight.
Look, they've obviously game planned this because they knew that Busquets and Fage were going to be defending together. You could see Simonin went into an acre of space and just overplaying again. Busquets' second clear up.
Here's Leguer. Long-backed. Mathieu Leguer, one of several French internationals, of course. In this Catalan side, here comes Tom Davis. A couple of plays to go in the set here as Catalan find themselves digging deeper. Abdul with a kick downfield. Bounces for Makinson, who will collect, and Wellesby's there as well, but Makinson turns and is quickly at pace here to take on those chasing defenders, bumped down by Fage, and help comes as well from the newly minted Satai, who's just on the field.
Well, he really challenges you, doesn't he? And they've got a penalty given away for offside. That's a quick play, the ball off the back of a really committed run by Tommy Makinson. Everybody to the right-hand side of the referee, not in line, and Wanger Blake. I mean, this is what Tommy Makinson's been doing his entire career, and he really physically challenges whoever's in front of him. You know, huge meters for St Helens over his career.
So Saints again with a full set inside their opponent's half. Clark. Now Dodd. Bell again. Just taking it right up to the line. Keeping those defenders guessing. Clark. St Helens crowd waiting to find their voice for the first time tonight. There's Lees, who's setting a very decent platform. Left a player on the floor as well in the shape of Morg. It's cut back to Wellesby, who's tracking, but he in turn is tracked.
Good tackle. Important tackle that from Tariq Sims.
Scruffy little ruck area, but he strides away to play the ball, and Clark comes bobbing and weaving and tried to hit the short pass with Sirin again. And down it goes.
Do you know what? It is not just the Catalan Dragons attack that is misfiring. We've spoken very little about the absence of Johnny Lomax, who I think is a huge miss. He is second in Super League for try assists, first in Super League for line break assists, putting other players through holes. He really is the glue that holds that attacking shape together. And you can see it's evident on both sides, isn't it? You know, absence of key playmakers is really making life difficult for both sides at the moment. There is Johnny. A real legend of St Helens alongside Morgan Knowles, also sitting this one out. It's that time of year, isn't it, Dave? Things start to catch up with you.
You look at every club will tell you we've got injury problems. So it ain't unique St Helens or indeed with Catalan, who've got similar worries. What I would say is Moses Mbai, I think the best game I've seen him play for St Helens, or certainly up there, was when he played at scrum half, or in the halves, for St Helens at Leeds in the Challenge Cup earlier this season. And it's not a position he's entirely unused to, is it? When you track back his NRL career. Penalty for Catalan. 6-0 still, the Dragons lead.
Yeah, just too much in the tackle. It was a late grab of the foot. James Bell, I think it was. Yeah, just not letting Chris Arte, who'd run that ruck, was dominant in that tackle. And James Bell, there's another playmaker for you. James Bell, I think he'll take on that role. They'll try to recreate Johnny Lomax in the aggregate, won't they, with Moses and Bayer and James Bell.
So Catalan again inside the St Helens half. Sate, who, by the way, is making his 100th Super League appearance this evening. Chris Sate. Majority of those, of course, with Hull. 4 or 5 years he was there. This is Fage, the former Saint. Little dash and a dart picked up by Rouchet, who's got Desiree here to have another little go. Morg back at dummy half, back to Garcia, slings it to Abdul. Not sure what he was doing. It's like a trick at a kid's party. That wasn't it. It slipped through his hands.
Yeah, the setup's just not right. You know, it's a long reaching pass. You know, players not in the right positions there. But you know, as we come up on a quarter of the game gone, I mean, the Catalan Dragons, they're ahead by 6 points to 0, but they have got over 70% of the possession. So I don't know whether Steve McNamara is happy that they're ahead or really frustrated that they're not further in front.
And again, it remains subdued. This place was party central last week with all that was going on against the Rhinos. Not tonight. There's a head injury here. I think there's the referee pointing to George Delaney. He's the concern. Oh, there you go.
Well, is it it's part of a head injury, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's a tough kid. I've been really, really impressed with the start to his Super League career. Still 20 years of age, 30-odd games now in a Saints jersey. You know, really one for the future. Well, he's one for now, isn't he? But he's certainly one for the future.
Yeah, Iggy Parsi on the bench, who's very much one for the now. But Noah Stevens as well. We saw a bit last week. Sam Royal, Ben Davies also for St Helens. Huddersfield have been pegged back there. Hull FC have got points on the board. Huddersfield 12, Hull 6. 20 minutes played here, 6-0 Catalan. In a game that's yet to really take off, that has yet to ignite because of the clunkiness of both sides.
Yeah, it is. It's that word again, isn't it? It's just... the guys talked about it at pitch side before the game. Just, they're not in sync, are they? The 6, 7 and 9 for both sides, it isn't quite working. I do think Saints have arguably got the better individual talent within the ranks. Whether they can get themselves into position to exploit that is another question. The Dragons are doing pretty well so far defensively. It's stubborn, isn't it? We've become accustomed to seeing that from the Dragons.
Clark out of dummy half, and this is Wonga Blake, who pops one out. It's padded back by Fage, and suddenly there's a run for the line for Davis. He's cut back in the inside. He's still fighting them off, and he very nearly got there despite the attentions of 3 or 4. But 6 tackles to go from here. 2 meters out. What can they make of this position? With already points on the board. Desiree trying to straighten things up. Saints are being tested again at the back. But Catalan again being very much tested at the front. Question marks about their potential to convert position into points. What do they do here? Morg into the hands of Fage. Abdul, it bounces off a St Helens player, was it? Yes, it was. The referee says play on. Laguerre, no, the referee was having a look at that to see what developed. I suspect if he thought there was a try scored, he could go to the video, but there wasn't, so he's given the knock-on.
Yeah, I was just looking at the setup in this. Jordan Abdul's the one who's taking the responsibility. They got a lot deeper that time, and they actually hit the front line runner in Tariq Sims, but they had some real depth and shape. Look at the depth here that they've got off the back of this. This is as good as it's looked all game. It's just the pass selection's wrong. That needed to go out the back, and I think they could have caused Saints right edge some real trouble there.
This is what's coming up tomorrow. Set your alarm, not too early, is it? Panthers against the Dragons at 8:30, the Dolphins against the Raiders, and then that Challenge Cup curtain raiser, if you like. Warrington against Wigan, 2:30. Leeds against Cass at 5:25. It's going to be fascinating, both those two teams needing a win. Hulkingston Rovers against Lee as well. So that is tomorrow too. And then Sunday, Roosters Cowboys nice and early. And Salford London rounding off the action this weekend. As we said, round 13 of the Betfred Super League. We're very nearly halfway there, folks, before the playoffs begin. Here's Clark. Who fancies this one? Makinson. Twisted robustly by Garcia as he takes it forward. Delaney, oh, smacked by Sims. Now, was that just a shoulder? The referee on the field is not going to have a look at that. The kick is high. Taken safely enough. Here's Johnston. Looking to keep it alive. Can't do so.
Yeah, well, I think there's no doubt about it. That's a shoulder charge. That's missed by the on-field referee. There's no attempt to wrap an arm there by Tariq Sims. He's got away with one. And Percival out the line. Wow, he puts a shot on Davis as well. You were looking for a spark, Dave. I think we just might have found one.
Davis forced to go back and play the ball again. The St Helens fans are unforgiving of that earlier hit by Sims, who has it now, and he's tackled. And here's Fage. Satay not going too far before that Saints defence comes to meet and greet and put him down. So they're going to be forced to kick, because here comes the last tackle again, and kicked away by Rouget. Wellesby's given a big shout. He collects. Wonga Blake returns, puts a dent in that Catalan line, and we've got some atmosphere inside the stadium.
They've woken up, yeah, they've woken up, and it took a Tariq Sims shoulder charge and very nearly a penalty conceded there by Jordan Desiree.
We're being told that Roman Navarrete has passed his HIA, so we will be seeing him back. He's keeping himself warm on the bike down there. And here's Sirinen.
Again, Sirinen pulling through that tackle. It's that area of the field that's a concern for me, the right edge for the Catalan Dragons.
Wellesby brings it on. It's clattered in by Lees. Saints are on the last, though. Here comes the final play. It's kicked high by Dodd. And a challenge by, well, we saw him score a terrific try last week, didn't we, Wellesby, up against Lockie Miller. Similar circumstances, other end of the field, but safe catch on that occasion.
Yeah, that was confidently taken by Cesar Rouget. Early call, eyes on the ball, turns his body as well, so if he doesn't secure it in the first instance, he gets another shot at it, shields himself, or shields the ball between himself and Jack Wellesby. Smart play.
Johnston tracking inside, chased away by Delaney and Matatia. Taken again with purpose from Frank Maria, who's on from the interchange bench. Kick is high from Rouget. Is collected by Wellesby. He's offered inside again for Blake. Who can't break that chasing Catalan line. But Percival again with all that effort and all that energy that we know is absolutely in his DNA. Clark again. We're just building a bit of momentum, and here comes a fella from the other side. Makinson trying to do something similar. Clark again. Bell now. Little leap, little twist. Can't get it away. Tidied up by three Catalan defenders. Clark scheming and planning and plotting and puts it to Dodd, and this is Delaney again to straighten things up, and they're on the last play here. Six tackle coming up. It's with Dodd hanging it high, giving the chasers a bit of interest, and Percival very nearly got there, but again Rouget doing superbly well.
Yeah, that's even better. That's even better take. You could hear the hooves there, couldn't he, come in? Really had to commit to that one. Again, though, you know, another set, another unconvincing attacking set from St Helens.
Work to do. Johnston helping. Half-time at Huddersfield. They've just pinched another couple of points there, the Giants. 14-6 they lead Hull FC. Roman Navarrete about to re-enter the fray. In the meantime, here's Busquets. The Catalan have gone through 5 and have got one more play to go. 6 play for them. Swung back. Big boot from Rouget. It's allowed to bounce. It's kind for Tommy Makinson. almost ripping through. Farage trying to grab hold of his shirt, nothing more, but two more defenders were there to help out, and they're clearing some yards here.
Yeah, easy meters, isn't it? Two really committed carries to start the set. The Dragons are having to kick from deep, though, aren't they?
And Percival again with a burst, and look where they are. 3 carries, and they're back within 38, 39 metres of their opponent's line, and a little ripple from the Saints fans who appreciate that. Wellesby, Hurrell gets it on its way. Tommy Makinson, a little bit of an invitation, but Laguerre is across to close him down. Couple of plays to go, though. Hurrell with a scamper, if a man that size can scamper, and takes it to give Saints an interesting kicking position here. Dodd on the last, end over end, up it goes, and safely gathered in at the back. Catalan having to start from a really troubled position again here.
Yeah, it was Artur Morg this time, you know, in the more familiar position of fullback. They seem to be interchanging a little, certainly in the early part of the set. Cesar Rouget and Artur Morg, who goes to the base of the ruck now. But they're finding meters hard to come by, aren't they? This Saints side have picked it up a notch in defence.
Sate's coming off down below. I think that might be a head injury assessment as well. I'm not sure, but anyway, the ball's gone loose. St Helens will get it back. The referee indicating that it went forward quite clearly.
Yeah, it's just a good shot, wasn't it, from James Bell underneath the ball of Frank Maria.
Sate has gone off. That was on plan, and I think I saw a green card down there, so it's another little concern. Jaden Nikorima's just warming up on the sidelines as well, so maybe not long before we see him out there. It's all very slow at the moment. St Helens just winding themselves up for a fantastic attacking opportunity here.
You're overselling it, David. It hasn't been vintage Saints, hasn't it, today? They're going to make fools out of both of us now.
Well, it's not been vintage anyone, but you live in hope, John. Any minute now. And here's Percival to just build on that any minute now anticipation. St Helens are 15 away. It's back with Dodd. Surinam just tries to force his way through again, and it's taking some hard work to stop him in his tracks. But tracks were made. Clark to Dodd, and now on by, and Wellesby, good hands to take that pass and then produce one of his own. That was sheer class from the fullback. Conrad Hurrell will finish that. But when he's finished his celebrations, I'm sure he'll have a quiet word with Jack Wellesby to say thank you, teammate. World class.
Yeah, thank you very much. But the pass was on half a second before. Jack Wellesby almost aborted that pass to Conrad Hurrell, but he was on the end again, a really good set-up shape. Jack Wellesby sweeping round the back. They got the depth, and it all came from the mistake from the Catalan Dragons. That was just pressure. It was relentless pressure in defence from St Helens. And then when they got their ball, they opened up the field. Nice little change in tempo from Lewis Dodd. And then when the ball got out to Wellesby, it was a simple pass on to Conrad Hurrell, who scores the opening points for St Helens. That little stop and go was important from Dodd. And Wellesby just through to Hurrell, who blows a kiss to everybody at home.
He knows where the cameras are,
doesn't he?
So, points on the board for St Helens.
No, he's just asking for contact. Toti has just been...
4 points to 6 with a kick to come. Seeming Matoti is getting a bit of treatment down there as well. Percival settling himself ready for the kick.
Yeah, and you get the feeling there's not going to be too much between these two sides. Neither particularly excelling, although I do think we've seen the best attacking shape of the night from St Helens there in the build-up to that try. So these kicks for goal are really important. We know Percival to be a good goal kicker, high-quality goal kicker. A 70% success probability from this side of the field.
Settles himself in. I'll tell you what, when you see the end to which he's kicking here, Mark Percival, Saints have done a good job of filling that. That's usually where the away fans go, isn't it? So not that many from Catalans, so well done to the Saints club for getting plenty of supporters on that terracing. Here comes Percival to level things up. It is all square, 6 apiece.
Yeah, great setup, finished by Comrade Hurrell, but take a look at the shape here. Look how deep they are, look how many viable run and pass options, and what it does to that Catalan Dragons defence. They have to bite, and that creates the natural overlap for Wellesby to get the ball on for Comrade Hurrell for the opening Saint score, and it all came from great setup shape. That forces defenders to do things they don't want to do. They feel the need to go and shut down a play. They feel vulnerable, they feel like there's too much space. They've got to run too far to shut it down, and St Helens took advantage.
So off we go again. Abdul with a kick downfield. 8 minutes of the first half remaining. Saints just letting that ball bounce. That could have been a tough one, and that was a tough one. That is high. There's a reaction. Oh, there's the reaction. The referee's got some sorting out to do here.
Now there's an arm. I don't look. At first glance, that looked either an open-handed slap, I hope not a punch, but there was a big reaction after this. Delaney turns as he goes into the tackle, gets a whack from Frank Maria, but after Dodd joins in and pushes Maria over, there's something else here. Look, the shot, but there's a reaction off the back of it as well that I think we need to see, because look, whilst that challenge was vociferous, the reaction off the back of it, there'll be more to be said about this.
Well, I think looking at Frank Maria's reaction we got there, I think he's expecting a card.
Yeah, so this is the initial hit from Maria, and it does come up high across from the shoulder into the head. Shoulder first, into head. You would imagine there'd be a yellow card for that, but there was a melee after Lewis Dodd, and a reaction here from a Catalan Dragons player. Yeah, and it was from Garcia, shoved a hand into the face, and then from Navarrete into the face of Wellesby. Look, and the players know these days, closed fist is you sit on the sidelines for a long, long time, but there's lots of shoving and pushing here.
Well, he's fairly new to the scene, isn't he, Frank Maria? It's only his 6th appearance, and I think this one might be ending early for him tonight.
Well, he'll be taking a break, it's just how long for.
Yeah. Let's hear from the referee here.
Let me explain it to you, boys. So, the initial contact is on the top of the back, and then he makes forceful contact with the head. So there is mitigation, but it's 10 minutes.
Well, it's yellow. It's yellow. Saints fans feel it should have been red. What do you reckon?
Well, I think the referee explained it really well. Secondary contact with the head. So it's come off the back of the shoulder, really, and then into the head. And we know why the rules are in place. 10 minutes is probably a fair reflection of that. Shoulder back, into the head. I think that was really well handled by the referee.
I know things have changed this season as the season has evolved.
Yeah.
I think he's a lucky lad there. I think he's a lucky lad. There's aftermath to deal with as well.
Just explain it to you, Jack. It's on the top of the back, and then it comes up, and that's why there's mitigation. So, fellas, we've got the sim in there against Maria, but then we have both players from either team coming in. Now, gents, we can't be having that again. That's what we know. We're just going to keep sitting players down. So I'm going to leave it up to you two to make sure that doesn't happen again. You get into your lads. Yeah. You get into your lads. Got the penalty. Over here.
Yeah, it's really good refereeing. You know, calmly spoken, well communicated.
Well, he's away for the rest of the half. 5.5 minutes to go. He'll be away for the early stages of the second half. St Helens have that man extra. We saw that Tariq Sims tackle early in the game, which fired up the St Helens crowd, and that's just fired it up doubly as well.
Yeah, we're in a really critical part of the game now for the Catalan Dragons as Frank Maria watches on. His 12 teammates have got to really defend that extra space. They've got to last 5 minutes. And then they get a half-time breather. Really crucial defensive set or two for the Dragons.
This is Delaney with a carry. Clark having a look around. He's got time to look around. Just trying to get Lees in full momentum. Catalan being pushed back here. Wave after wave of St Helens forwards coming their way. Now it goes a little wider. Percival with the offload. It bounces backwards. Bell's got some work to do to scramble back to try and get them back to where they were. Can't do so. One play to go. Bell's hurt. Clark puts it back.
Ooh, that's a shocker of a kick. That's got some real wobble on it.
Dodd,
Really well taken.
well taken again by Cesar Rouget, who's, you know, for not an established fullback, has done well in that.
I'll tell you what, he's done really well. I watched that ball fly through the air. You saw the late adjustment. He fell to his knees. They move a lot. They can move a metre or more in the air and move late as well if they're struck correctly. Really good take.
Settle down a little. So Catalans' interest for things to settle down a little here, for them to take the heat out of this situation. Nicarima is on the field, Jordan Nicarima.
And that's what he's going to do. He's going to inject some real pace around that ruck.
Here's Busquets again, just holding it up, keeping the players around interested in a possible offload, but St Helens make sure that doesn't happen. Nicarima. Fage with a kick, just looking for touch and giving it plenty of bounce to make it as difficult as possible. It's Wellesby who collects and almost finds a route through, but Davis is there to make the tackle. And Catalan again forced to play from... Sorry, St Helens forced to play from deep inside their own half here. Here's Wonga Blake.
Yeah, it's a smart tactical kick as well. He's put them in the corner of the field, and now this Catalan Dragons defence can shorten up.
So here's a moment St Helens fans will love. Iggy Parsi back on the field. 10 months away for Iggy Parsi. That horrific collection of injuries. MCL, ACL, ankle injury in that semi-final 10 months ago in the Challenge Cup. It's been a long, hard road back. Very nearly got back on the field last week, but tonight's his night, and that's a big boost for St.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see him back in the game. Some Saints players went across, didn't they, to see him play in a reserves game a few days ago and show their support. But yeah, out since July last year. Welcome back, Ignatius.
There he goes. First tackle of the night, easy one for him. Third man in, just to make sure the shoulder made contact in just the right area. Laguerre. Parsi gets applause for a standard tackle. Lots of sympathy and support for him. Oh, that's good footwork by Johnston, who almost works a passage through those St Helens defenders. This is Davis from the other side now. Come across to join in the fun. Nicarima out of dummy half. Garcia puts it back. Fage offers it back towards the middle again, and Busquets is back in there.
And they're a man down, St Helens. Common Hurl has not moved since Catalan Dragons pulled through that tackle. Abdul gets it off the deck. You know,
to reach and kick.
Yeah, it was a conservative end to the set, wasn't it? But Common Hurl's really struggling in back play here. You can see, look, he'll be making his way to the sideline. It was in this tackle. It was a little step, and then Hurl just got himself caught up, I think, with another Saints player. Moses Mbai, I think, maybe collected his lower leg, but he is struggling.
Add into the list, potentially, Lomax, Batchelor, Wormsley, Knowles, Wingfield, Whitley. Already on that St Helens injury list, but as we said earlier, that's common to a lot of clubs this year. Bell. Well, Hurl's actually hobbling back into position rather than hobbling off the field. St Helens are attacking on the other side. Here's Percival, early pass out. Blake can't find a way through with those Catalan defenders coming across efficiently. Dodd. Now Mbai. And Parsi with the first carry of his return. And, well, he's got it away, and the referee says play on. It's not the cleanest of offloads you've ever seen, but it was effective.
Yeah, there's some Saints players who missed a jump there. Darryl Clark picked up the offload, and there was some guys off the pace. That was an opportunity missed.
Well, they're coming right, but they're effectively a man down here because Conrad Hurl is behind the play, still injured, still limping. St Helens keeping it alive somehow. Dodd has a look, puts a little grubber kick on. Who's chasing this? Well, it's Davis who eventually gets there effectively. And that will be the last play of this first half. Well, the boos, you suspect, for the referee for showing a yellow when the Saints fans thought it should have been red. Conrad Hurrell, the latest hobbler for St Helens. Steve McNamara, I'm sure, will be pretty happy with the way the game is at the moment at 6 points apiece. Given the problems he's had in the build-up here, it ain't been a classic so far, but it's tight and it's tense. And at half-time, it's St Helens 6, Catalan Dragons 6.
Dave, John, thank you very much. Wherever you're watching this round 13 fixture here on Sky Sports, yes, there have been errors, but I hope the physical nature of the encounter is coming across. It has been brutal between St Helens.
Before the Catalan Dragons and Conrad Hurrell, the man you just saw in your picture, we did see him run out onto the field. I say run, hobble out onto the field. It doesn't look great.
And they've only used one interchange player so far, haven't they, Saints? Ignatius Parsi. We've not seen Ben Davies, Sam Royal, Noah Stevens so far. So, what does that tell you? The slowness of the game? They've not needed that. What does that tell you? The fact that Saints have only used that one interchange.
I think that St Helens have been happy with the intensity at the moment. They've not felt the need to change it. The middles look fresh. Don't forget, I mean, you've got some young kids in there. George Delaney, for example, as a middle forward, you know, he's played 40 minutes straight. You can do that at that age.
So Catalan with first touch of the ball in the second half, and St Helens with that one-man advantage for 4.5 minutes or so, with Frank Maria still in the sin bin.
Best way to negate that is keep the ball in your hands. The Catalan Dragons have nice, efficient set, and that's a real spiral on that. Well handled at the back by Jack Wellesby.
Makes it look easy, but it's given time for Catalan to get up there, rush him down, and make sure that Saints start inside their 20 for their first carry of the ball in this second half. Wonga Blake. Here's Clark. Tommy Makinson's winding himself up here to have a blast. Try and pierce a hole in that Catalan line, but not found it on this occasion. Clark again. Farge came rushing out quickly there to close things down. Parsi, though, just into a gallop. Farge probably looked at him and thought the best thing I can do here is get in his face before he gets full speed up. Now St Helens are going right, and Conrad Hurrell's travelling well despite that injury. Makinson's there too, but so too a cluster of Catalan defenders. And now it's Tommy Makinson's turn to be a little laboured as he picks himself up off the floor. Dodwell kicked to the corner. It's patted back and into the hands of Sione Mutatia. And it's going to be a try, I think. The referee's having a look. Oh, he's not sure. He ain't sure. We're going to go upstairs again. Try on the field. Let's hear from the video referee.
It's tackle 5. We've got a try on field. Checking onside offside because it's from a kick into a knock on. So we'll be on camera 4 first for the onside offside, please. Put the ball on the foot with Dodd. Ball on foot. We're okay from this. Let's run this through. Oh, Dodd plays them all onside anyway. He's through. Now something close in on that. Camera 5, please. Camera 5's our best one for this contest. Dodd goes up. Ball always goes backwards from Dodd. That's fine. We'll go to the corner. Camera 1 for grounding, please. Establish that goes backwards in the air. Just something close in on grounding. It's got possession of the ball. Still got possession. And the ball is grounded. I made my decision.
Scorer last week, Lusite scorer this week here. There's a bit of a grimace there, a little bit of pain. I'm sure he'll be okay, but here comes the confirmation, and it is St Helens who 2 minutes into the second half burst into the lead for the very first time tonight.
Yeah, best possible start to the second half for St Helens, worst possible start for the visitors. 2 minutes into the second half, and Lewis Dodd puts up a box kick and then has the presence of mind to chase it up and get an arm there clear. And Matautia just picks up and has the easiest route to the line. And Lewis Dodd's just not giving up on that as he gets one arm to it. And that's your reward, Sione, for following up and not giving up on a play. An early score for St Helens, a 4-point lead. A kick from Percival to take it out to 12 points to 6. And the only saving grace from this is that the kick will chew up an extra minute of Frank Maria's time in the sin bin.
I tell you what, Conrad Hurrell looked as like he was on roller skates for a moment there, a little snapshot. He was hobbling before, and in the background to that try being scored, I think we saw him hobbling again, but...
Yeah, it's not going to be... Look, just watch Percival take this kick. The success probability's gone up because he was successful from his last one, similar sort of thing. Right-hand side of the sticks, they're all important.
Here he rolls. There he kicks. Over it goes. 12 points to 6. So St Helens, 6-point lead. Sione Matulti's third try in 3 successive games now.
Yeah, and you can see Conrad Hurrell just disappear from the right-hand side of your picture. Sione Matulti picks up and opens the scoring for the second half. Look, when you're in full flight and you've got a lower limb injury, it isn't too bad. It's the stopping and changing of direction that you're going to really struggle with. But Matulti won't be thinking about that. He'll be thinking about, as you said, try last week, try this week, in a bit of form. And there's a guy who, look, there's a smile on his face, but I think he's in a fair bit of discomfort.
He's going to keep going. Looks like Frank Maria's chomping at the bit to get back on here. Abdul restarts the action with that left boot. And there we go. That's been missed. And look at the speed he got up there. And I think he was thinking he might have got a penalty of that, but he did well there, didn't he? Smashing in, rolling up, bouncing up.
Passing off the back fence. It's been a sign that's been sorely missed from Super League, hasn't it, for the last 10 months or so.
Percival, another push, another bit of a grunt from him. Just wonder what his life has been like in this last few months. This is Bell using Delaney as a foil. And there is Maria back on the field, so 13 against 13. Matatia. 1 play to go, 1 play, last play here, so it's going to be a kick downfield off Dodd. Davis catches, despite the attempts of the Saints fans to put him off. Catalans start from here.
Yeah, they start from 25 out because it was a very efficient defensive set from the Dragons.
There's Nikarima, Jaden Nikarima, lifting it over the top. Johnston's come searching for a bit of work as well into the middle of the field. Jaden Nikarima, his brother Cody, of course, was a New Zealand international, but I think early in his career, Jaden decided he wanted to play for Australia, but didn't quite work out that way. Might still do, who knows? Garcia, the Saints come right and wider than we're normally used to seeing him. Busquets is put down just on the halfway line. Back to Abdul on the last with that big kick. Forward comes fullback Wellesby. And runs into Farge, who does enough to slow him down for others to join in and completely make the stop.
Really well taken. I do feel like the Catalan Dragons missed another opportunity there, 4th tackle. They had a nice little opportunity out the back. They hit Busquets on the lead line. They can't give up too many of these. They're not going to present themselves that often.
It's Makinson. One of the game tonight, of course, and it looks like Huddersfield are on their way to their first home win of the season. 22 points to 6 against an ever beleaguered Hull FC. Still have only that 1 win so far this year. That's high, and that is a penalty. This time against Sims.
Well, anything from Tariq Sims is always full-blooded and committed, and he's just snuck a little high there. Again, off the shoulder. But it's a penalty. There is contact with the head. It's just the change in late footwork from Moses and Bai that catches him out.
So a scene setter off the boot of Dodd. And St Helens know what they have to do now. With 6 tackles, get themselves 30 yards downfield. And the first effort is, as ever, a muscular one from Delaney. Clark. Dodd. This is Bell. Can't spin it away, and Bai was standing behind, but he's not going to get involved here because Clark has jogged it back to that dummy half position, and Bai has gone to that right-hand side. Late run from him to try and create numbers. Wellesby is away from the attempted tackle and has support from Tommy Makinson, who's in to score. Bullseye from Tommy. St Helens have a second. When they're in this kind of mood, who knows? Who knows where it goes from here? But just at the moment, the Saints fans are very happy.
Really, really well-worked try, and it was a move just before they played the ball from Moses and Bai that created the extra number. The defence on the left-hand side for the Catalan Dragons could not adapt, could not adjust in time. And then when Moses and Bai came across, take a look at Moses and Bai here, late, right at the back of the ruck there, movement late, number 14, out the back of Lewis Dodd. And it forces an overread from the Catalan Dragons. They did not have time to adjust numbers themselves, and then you do not want anyone else in the backfield if you're a Saints fan than Jack Welsby. He always comes up with the right decision. It was great work. Bell did well, actually, not to force the offer. I think he thought about it for a second or two. But I cannot overemphasise the smarts there involved in the build-up to that play. Moses and Bai, a really, really late break from the back of the ruck. And then Welsby and Makinson do the rest. It's been a devastating last 5 or 6 minutes or so for St Helens.
Against the team he'll be playing for next year, of course. Tommy Makinson, 201 now in a St Helens shirt. And he's only one. In this list, we talk about Danny Maguire at the top of Super League's try-scoring list at 247, and Ryan Hall on 246, and Josh Charnley 239. Well, you look down that list to about 8th, and you find Tommy Makinson, who's now just one behind Ryan Atkins.
With a measly 185.
185 now. Ryan's got 186. And he won't be scoring anymore, Ryan Atkins. There's a few retirees on that list. Maguire at the top, senior, 199. Wellens himself with 199. Percival, full concentration. 2 out of 2 so far. Here he comes, right-footed. Will this be 3 out of 3?
Oh.
Yes, it will. He's kicking like a dream tonight, Mark Percival. And you consider he'd had a few self-doubts in that department down the years. Well, fully self-confident now, surely.
Oh, it's a fantastic conversion, but not as good as the try. This was really good to watch. You see the overread there from Sims. It was because of that late arrival from Moses and Bai, and then Welsby sums it up perfectly, puts it on a plate for Tommy Makinson, and he knows how to celebrate as well. But look, the most dangerous thing in rugby league, I think, is this man in backfield. I don't think he makes mistakes in terms of his decision-making.
And here comes Parsi, full-blooded, fully committed, but 3 forming a south of France wall to stop him. Clark now picks up, just urged again forward by Serena. Making yards here, St Helens. Bell, little dancing footsteps from him. Can't unpick the lock. Clark, and by inside again to Mutatia. Danced around, slowed down. 2 tackles to go. 2 tackles to go for St Helens. They're on the halfway line. Bell. There's involvement from Frank Maria as well, back on the field. So this now is the last. Clark spins it out. So Dodd will stick it high. Again, it's end over end. Everybody's looking at each other just for a moment there, deciding who's going to go for that. It wasn't an inviting kick, was it? Rouget got underneath it again and made that catch. But I think there was just a little glimpse around to see if anyone else was around.
A little less confident, that one from Cesar Rouget, but look, he got it. And the Catalan Dragons, they're really going to have to stem the flow here, because the momentum has well and truly swung in the favour of the home side. They've got to put together a couple of sets here.
Well, Saints are working hard here in defence, and Catalan are finding themselves having their go forward controlled here. Those are the stats. It looks fairly even, doesn't it? But Saints have made more metres with the ball they've had than Catalan have. Abdul's kick. It's not going to tickle the touchline. It's just going to bounce into the hands of Tommy Makinson, who'll bring it back and is quickly at pace again. And tries to bruise the egos of those oncoming defenders, but they make the contact fair and square. And Mutatia, I think, well, he's just getting some treatment. Physio's just put his hand in the air to say he's OK. Iggy Parsons just come off the field as well, as has George Delaney. So this is the first time we've seen a couple of players. Noah Stevens is on.
And Wagga Blake's just come up with a shocker. He thought he was passing to Percival, and he's passed to Tom Davis, and is that the little momentum shift, the chink of light that the Catalan Dragons needed?
Here's Desiree, spinning around, getting it away. Abdul funneling it left, and Johnston trying to cut back on the inside again. Stevens and Lee's back on the field, but Stevens for the first time. Rima Tafaj. Rouget's involved. Well met by Percival.
Great tackle.
Well met, but a good extrication from Ikevalu as well to keep that interesting for Catalan. Here's Nicarima. Garcia straightens things up. A couple of plays to go in the set there. 25 metres out here, Catalan. It's back with Fage up to the line, but it's knocked away from him by Clark's tackle. Has to be picked up by Rouget. They lost their way a little there, Catalan, as a result of that. And now on the last play, they've one more chance to rattle this St Helens defence. Abdul, whose boot created a try in the first half, sticks that very high. There's a wonderful chase going on. But underneath it all is Tommy Makinson, who's back there to collect.
That's a brilliant take, quite a brilliant take from Tommy Makinson. He had to commit 100% to that.
Oh, ripped out of the hands of Noah Stevens. So a penalty for St Helens.
That was a great piece of defensive rearguard action from Tommy Makinson, all the experience in the world. And then the penalty for a strip. Yeah, and it's just hands in the tackle, isn't it, Nicarima, I think. It's just too much there, and yeah, there's a clear pull from the right arm of Nicarima. It's a serious let-off because they had him in a great position, the Dragons, there. So the relieving penalty sees them start their set. A good 25 metres out from their own line. Out with a tap, Matautia, who's had treatment, bustles in. Lifted, pushed back. This is Clark. Mr. Stevens takes the tackle. Huddersfield edging ever closer to that win. 24-6. Bell. Well, that's a line run by Lees, but couldn't quite squeeze a way through. Here's Bell. Again using the big man to his right. Stevens on that occasion as a foil. Clark. 2 tackles to go. Dodd right up to the line. Short pass. Sirenen pushes. Metres after contact to decent. Last play here for St Helens. 40 metres out. They go to Dodd. Busquets tries to get to him, but Dodd gets that kick high in the air. Rouget's underneath it again. Up he goes. Down he comes. Ball in hands. He's not done a lot wrong at all, has he, in that position tonight? No, and there was a nice piece of escort work, legitimate escort work as well, just to put Jack Wellesby's line off a little, so he arrived too late to make a genuine challenge for that ball.
There's Leguer, Mathieu Leguer.
Crashing forward, goal first.
They're not making a lot of meters. It wouldn't surprise me if you saw an Abdul here pop up with a 40-20 attempt, because they really are struggling for meters at the moment. They need something to ignite and switch.
It's entirely playable as St Helens were already out of their blocks to close things down. 6 tackle is the next. Catalan. No, they're going to be chasing a kick. Abdul boots it downfield. Wellesby can lay it to bounce. Hull is sneaking back into that game, 24-12. Percival. There's one thing you can say about Hull. They've put up a rear guard reaction in the last couple of weeks. They got late points against Cass last week, and maybe they're doing something similar against Huddersfield. But parting the ways with Tony Smith hasn't done the trick, has it, for Hull?
And the Catalan Dragons will be looking for late points here as well, but there is a fair amount of fatigue that you can see on show at the moment. The line speed's dried up. They've making next to no meters, and St Helens are having the way with the Catalan Dragons at the moment.
Bell again skips in. Stevens is there, tight to him, and Stevens gets himself away, and he's still going here, carting it downfield. There were 2 or 3 to his left, but he was excited then, the young fella. But he has given his side a really good position, and Bai tries to pop one over the top and has delivered the perfect pass to Leguer.
Right, put himself in the brilliant position, did Mathieu Leguer. He said, look, try and beat me if you can. And I think that's potentially a try-saving involvement, that from the left centre, the French centre for the Catalan Dragons. You can tell me it was a poor pass all you like, but they worked his short side, short on numbers, and he's come up with the right play at the right time.
Just trying to pop it either over or round him, but not finding a route. And Desiree comes clattering forward again here for Catalan, who are not down and out. It's only 12 points the difference, and they know if they can score next, and they're putting some real pressure on here. Wellesby has to put his skates on to get himself out of the in-goal area. Nicarima with a tackle, but Saints having to start from deep here. But Makinson's really quick there at the dummy half. He knew there was a pocket there to take advantage of.
Well, it's a really great kick, but not backed up, unfortunately, by a good kick chase. And, you know, easy outs there for St Helens, who in 3 plays are now up over the 40-metre line.
Errol dragging a couple of defenders, dragging his poorly foot with him as well. Clark now running out. So 5 tackles gone, and St Helens have taken themselves quite a distance downfield from their starting position in this set. Up and high by Dodd. And the challenge there, it's gone backwards. Oh, Lees has passed it to Busquets. That's a hat-trick of interceptions.
3 times he's done that this evening. It's one of the unexpected benefits of playing out in the back row, not at the coalface right in the middle of the field. And look, these involvements are just keeping the Catalan Dragons in the game, aren't they? Because Matty Lees, he thought he was passing to Sirinen. Mathieu Leguer's involvement and then Busquets' involvement have just kept St Helens at bay.
All those interceptions, I think Busquets made a maximum of 10 metres on any one of them. But he got the ball back for his side, and that's what matters. And Catalan again are creeping themselves back into an attacking position, but only 1 play to go here. So this is the last in the set. Abdul again, the boot goes high, chased hard by Johnston, very nearly got there. It's been spilled all over the place, but the first knock-on was a Catalan knock-on, so Saints safely have it back.
That was a really committed chase from Tom Johnston. He was going to have a genuine challenge for that, but it did. He couldn't catch it cleanly. Off into the body of Tommy Makinson, so it doesn't really matter what happens after this. But Wellesby knocked on, because the first knock-on was Tom Johnston into the body of Tommy Makinson, and a reprieve for Saints. That's better from the Dragons.
There's more than a sniff of life in their potential here.
Oh, there's plenty of time left. There's plenty of time left. I'd like to see Nicarima run from dummy half a couple of times. Desiree has been making some really strong carries, you know, maybe off the back of something, just to create a bit of momentum.
Sirinen denied the opportunity to play against his younger brother Bailey, who was in the Catalan 21 but hasn't made the cut. Good family ties. And then, of course, Paul Sirinen, who was champion player in the French leagues as well. Hull are really fighting back. Huddersfield 24, Hull 18, and here's Stevens with a break. Oh, Bell was right up there, and all he had to do was catch it. And with the support he had, there was a try at begging.
I'll tell you what as well, kudos to Noah Stevens. It's a brilliant fend, and that ball's on. You've just got to take that. If you're James Bell at this level, you've just got to take that. That's great work from the young kid. He's put himself right in between defenders on a couple of occasions since he's come on. He's made a real impact from the bench. I always thought the bench impact was going to be important, was going to be significant this evening. Shown up really well, hasn't he?
He has. If you didn't know, you saw him walking down the street, you'd probably think rugby league prop forward there. But we've mentioned it before, St Helens, people at St Helens very excited about his future, Noah Stevens.
So there should be. He's still a young kid. Is he 18?
He is 18 years of age.
Unbelievable.
Come through the academy, he was at Pilks.
It was like that, but the kids used to play with when you were in under 11s with moustaches, didn't they?
Tom Davis. Oh, not pursuing that story. Here's Morgan dummy half. Fage on its way to Garcia. Desiree now, almost a standing start, trying to work up some momentum, but just overpowered by St. Helens defenders. Morg is taken on by Loan Castano, who's on from the bench. Only his second game for Catalans tonight. Going left into the hands of Laguerre. One play to go. Catalan are here, knocking on the door. 6 tackle play. It's going to be an Abdul boot again. Angles it towards it. Cavallo was trying to chase it, but it's Percival who gets up there and claims it as his own. Never in doubt. Yeah,
had to get high, had to get the arms above the head, and he'd done just that.
Well, Wellesby running from dummy half, saw the gap, took advantage. Can he go the distance here? Trying to step back on the inside, but covered well by Rouget. But look at that, it's a 60-yard clearing run. So Saints, from the point of defence, are on the peak of attack. Potentially in this set, Wellesby stayed dead on his haunches. I think it's lactic acid more than anything else that after that run.
That was heavy contact, wasn't it? But it was great positional work in defence from César Rouget.
Darrell Clark waits patiently at the feet of Lees, who's hurt as well as he took that one in. Here's Bell. Stevens was there on his outside, looking for a potential pass. Last play again now from St. Helens. Clark, it's very slow. Out they come, the Catalan defenders. But Dodd can still get the chosen kick away. Up it goes, bouncing all over the place here. Ikevalu picks it up. Knock on. Saints have it back. Saints have it back, 12 metres out.
Well, there's a hand in there from Wagner Blake.
Catalan will feel hard done to.
Well, I'm looking at Wagner Blake's left hand here, and that seems to be the first contact. I'm not sure Ikevalu's made contact at all, but look, we don't have a captain's challenge, Dave, so we play on in the Catalan Dragons, I think, with the most important defensive set of the game. They concede here, I think this game done.
Percival getting strapped up here. There's a lot of walking wounded or running wounded out there. Midway point of the season, very nearly. Everybody's feeling something. Clark goes out of dummy half, and Bai helps it on its way. Here's Hurrell. How quickly can he get up to play this? And Bai looks a little awkward there, doesn't it? Clark again. Back to Stevens. Stevens down 12 metres away. What an opportunity for St. Helens here. This is Clark spinning it back to Dodd. Now it's Mbai, and Wellesby's joining in from fullback, and Percival went on a line. Little step and an angle that almost tore a hole in that Catalan defence. They might still do that, and Mbai denied a way through. Some valiant defending here from the Dragons. Clark, Dodd, dummies, steps. Oh, and Desiree with a despairing tackle, but it's play on. Desiree did just enough to slow him down. One play to go. Kick to the in-goal area, and over goes Matty Lees. His first try of the season, if it's given. Massive moment. Let's hear from the video referee.
It's tackle 5, the on-field decision to try. We'll check it onside, offside, free to grounded. So it's camera 4 first for the kick, please, and onside, offside. Pause of Daspark's foot. 2 chases to the left are onside. This is fine. Let's run this through. Camera 2 will probably be our best angle for grounded now. Pace collected fine. Lees gets possession of the ball. Slowly on this, and the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
Well, he doesn't get many opportunities in that position, does he, Matty Lees? That's his first score of the year, as we said. He wasn't going to fluff it. Try confirmed. And St. Helens now edge themselves into what looks like a potentially definitive lead.
Yeah, I say it was the most important defensive set, and I think they held out really well for 5 tackles. And just because Cesar Rouget got himself on the wrong side, Artur Morg maybe overran the play, and it all stemmed from, well, what was called a knock-on from Matty Cavallo, and there's maybe a debate to be had about that, but there wasn't about this. Darrell Clarke, quick thinking, he saw Artur Morg overread and jump out of the play, the ball opened up a little channel, and the kick came through. Fullbacks can do largely nothing in that area. Cesar Rouget, 17, wrong side of the ruck, but he wouldn't have got there anyway. Perfectly weighted, sits up nicely for Matty Lees. And the Dragons were hanging on. They needed to hang on for one more tackle, and I think 22 points to lead, which will surely be converted by Mark Percival, could well be the game, Dave.
He's off the Nudie run. Do they still do that? The Nudie run at the end of the year? There's a kick from Percival, 4 out of 4, 24 points to 6. St Helens now. It's a way back for Catalan. They have done it before in even more dramatic circumstances than this, in much more dramatic circumstances than this. But just at the moment, it's very much advantage Saints.
That was a really cute kick from Darrell Clarke. There's lots of moving parts there, and I think the cue for him was Artur Morg just stepping off the line and opening up a clear kicking channel. And Matty Lees has jumped through, and Paul Wellens is really pleased with what he's seen, because it's been an attritional game. It hasn't been high quality in terms of attack, but I tell you what, it's been full-blooded.
It's going high and short, and was that a touch from Percival forward? Yes, it was. So Catalan have it back. Where do you want it, boys, is the question. Somewhere over the goal line at the other end of the field, if you don't mind, referee, in this next set. It'll liven things up.
Yeah, it's come off Wanger Blake. There's an argument for offside there.
Huddersfield hang on, 24 points to 18, their first home win of the season. They'll be delighted with that. Fortnight off for them, of course. With the Challenge Cup next weekend, just Wigan and Warrington involved in that. Everybody else gets feet up time. Jenna, you have news on the touchline.
Yeah, Woodsy, about 5 minutes ago, Tariq Sims came off. He's got ice on his right wrist. There you go. It's nothing too serious, but yeah, he's come off. I doubt he'll come back on for the final 12 minutes or so.
Thanks, Jenna.
Great tackle early in the piece, wasn't it, by James Bell? Absolutely cut the Catalan Dragons player in half.
Fage, it's now or never for Catalan. Busquets takes them closer. Here's Morg, spins it back to Fage and Desiree. It's loose-ish to Abdul, but look at the numbers they've got here now. Rouget trying to pick a path back in the middle. St Helens defence had recovered its poise well enough. Morg. Abdul again. Up goes the boot. Here comes the chase, but it's Percival. Really good take again from Mark Percival.
Again, you're just eyes for nothing else but the ball. Good second carry as well here from Wanger Blake, and they've been picking out Theo Fage all game. He's done a hell of a lot of defensive work as Fage. He's been forced to make 24 tackles, Theo Fage. There's only Garcia and Busquets who've made more, and that's definite game plan from St Helens.
Stevens. Blasting it in. Noah Stevens. And by clocking in at dummy half. Matty try scorer. The last play. Sextattle coming up here again. St Helens inside their own half. So the kick from Dodd. Just looking for distance. Hopes it holds up in the in-goal area. It doesn't. It's a tap back on the 20. It's a 7-tackle play for Catalan, which again just gives them a little encouragement.
No, look, it does. It's an extra tackle, but you feel like they only need 70 tackles to get themselves in a try-scoring position. And here's more bad news for the Dragons. Benjamin Garcia limping from the field.
Well, I mean, how many back rowers especially have they lost of late? Hookers and back rowers, they're making a speciality of getting injuries in those situations. They soldier on. So credit to them that they are still fighting away in this game. Johnston. Play, Nicarima's at dummy half. Desiree. Not a lot of room in which to work there from Loan Castaño. His only other game, by the way, for Catalan was against Wigan back in 2022. Long time between his first and second appearance.
He's shown up well, Jordan Desiree. I know he's likely to be on a beaten side, but I think he's been very, very uncompromising, hard-nosed, picked some good lines.
Busquets goes wide, hoping that Davis can find a gap, but there's no gap there. Morg again. Inside to Farge. Bell closing him down really quickly, which leads to the spill and gives St Helens possession back again.
Well, they kind of put themselves in a corner, so they needed to find a wide pass, and that invited the pressure from James Bell. But, you know, I'll repeat the stat that we said at the top of the show. The 1, 6, 7 and 9, full-back, 2 half-backs and hooker for the Catalan Dragons. You are watching the 10th different combination in 13 outings, and you can see the disjointed nature of that attack. There are players with hands waving, moving late, trying to get into position, no real leader there. It's a real headache for Steve McNamara. Now, I know an awful lot of it, Dave, has been injury forced, but they've got to settle on something soon.
Yeah, he's missing Romano, McMeekan, McAlorum, Seguia, Da Costa. He's seen Garcia limping off today as well. He's seen an injury down there on the touchline too for Tariq Sims. So they're doing it tough at the moment, Catalan. St Helens finding their way back inside the Dragons' half. The applause you're hearing down there is for Noah Stevens, one of the interchange players coming off. Dodd, Wellesby, oh, Percival, I think he was caught in two minds there, and he's lost the ball, and it's given an opportunity for Ikebalu to try and find some space, but bumping into the back of him comes Curtis Soronen.
Got a shift left.
6 plays to go.
They took the wrong option. Arthur Morg just needed to look up left, and they've got a penalty. But look, again, this is where a natural leader of a halfback is going to demand the football. They had numbers left, and they've spurned another opportunity.
That was the high tackle which has led to the penalty. So a very decent starting position for the Dragons here. Farge helps it on its way. Frank Maria with an energetic effort. Takes his team to within 10. Sets a platform. Options right and left. They're going left in the first instance. Castaño put down. It's with Morg. Rouget to Busquets, and Busquets has got himself over. That cry of celebration from Julian Busquets, and it means that Catalan have points on the board. Is it too little too late? But 6 minutes to go. They've given themselves a chance.
Yeah, it was really smart play, soft hands from Theo Farge, and it was Chris Sartai. His run out the back really took Lewis Dodd's eye off the ball. You can see Lewis Dodd was looking to solve a problem further out wide, and they've hit the lead line, and Busquets crashes over to reduce the arrears. This will be taken quickly. Won't hang around Arthur Morg.
He's going through his routine, just a slightly quicker version of the routine, swaying the arm, steps back, strikes it well, over it goes. 24 points to 12. St Helens fans love it. They absolutely love it when you remind them of that night in Newcastle when Catalan came steaming back. Is there a potential?
Take a look at this from behind the sticks. Just look at the pass now and the difference that a definite out option with Sarte out the back makes. It just causes confusion in the ranks for St Helens defenders.
Well, he knows it's been done before. Odds are still very much stacked against them. Clark coming back on the field, maybe a little more nervous than he might have been a few moments ago. Still relatively confident, surely. Percival boots it downfield, looking for distance, and that St Helens defence will be looking to work really hard here to restrict Catalan. Wow! Everyone went flying everywhere then. Frank Maria taking it in, and bodies, Mutatius especially, went bouncing off him. Catalan are trying to get a bit of a width on here. Busquets now straightens things up.
Looked like Matauti went straight through Frank Maria here. That was unbelievable. Great carry, strong carry, as is this from Chris Sartai.
Tackle 3. Midway inside their own half. I need something dramatic. Something special. Desiree picks it up. All he can do is produce an honest play here, and that is an honest play. Jenna, what news have you got on Ben Garcia?
Yeah, Woodsy sat on the sideline. I've just spoken to the club doctor. The Catalan captain has, I've been told, a bit of a calf issue. They're not really telling me how serious it is. If it's serious at this point, I will follow up with Steve McNamara at full time. Also, Conrad Harrell has finally come off after that ankle injury earlier on in the game.
Thanks, Jenna. Things are getting a little heated in the middle. This was a straightforward drop, the referees decided, by Arthur Moore, and then all this happens. Where's this come from?
Yeah, just frustrations boiling over. I think Arthur Moore's imploring the referee to look at the big screen, but yeah, it's pushing and shoving it, and it's frustration from the Catalan Dragons. It's Arthur Moore's responsibility to keep hold and keep possession of the ball, and it's still going on. These are live pitches that you're seeing. This is a good 30-35 seconds after the original knock-on. So he's imploring the referee to have a look at the screen, and then there's a shoving back play from between Desiree and Clark. Then Delaney decides, well, I think I might have a bit of a pop as well.
I guess that's got a bit of history somewhere, that Desiree and Clark, because why should they come together in that situation?
It just bubbled and simmered. Never boiled over, did it?
Here from Aaron Moore.
Daryl. Jordan. Boys, just listen to me a minute. Fellas, we've got 3 minutes left of the game. We've had nothing in this half from either team, and we just don't need that, do we? Let's be smart. We don't need anything. We've got you two coming together. You be smart and you be smart. Come on, finish the game strong. We've got the scrum over here, boys. Come on, let's be smart. Scrum over here for the knock-on.
Well sorted.
Yeah, there's a hand in there from Sione Matauti. Maybe a bit of gamesmanship, but Artur Moore's going to make sure he regains possession. It's what goes on in the background.
He's stalked. There's no better word for it. He stalked Desiree straight towards Daryl Clark.
Yeah, there's some sledging going on, some verbals going on there.
Anyway, scrum. Normality is restored. Here's Stevens, the prop forward, having a go. Oh, sorry, it's Ben Davies having a go. Clark. St Helens will be hoping they can finish with a flourish. Mutatia with a stout and strong carry. Clark again has time to consider his options. Whizzes it to Dodd. Back comes Lees. Still plenty of tackles in the back here. There's about 3 tackles to go, but again, it's a really slow play the ball. Clark, Wellesby, inviting Percival to come for a little angled run, but Morg does his job, grabbing hold of the St Helens centre's hips and dragging him down. Now it's Dodd. Now and Bai could see the defence had come up quickly, so kept hold of the ball, and he's untidily put it down. And it will be Catalan who get head and feet here. Don't forget, by the way, that we'll be looking back with Brian and the team at some of these key incidents and hearing the thoughts of coaches and players at the end of this. It's always fascinating to get that, so...
I'll be interested to hear his comments, actually, Paul Wellens, because, you know, 24-12 looks like a comfortable victory, doesn't it, on paper, but I don't think he'll feel that way about it. I think he'll have plenty to say about what his side has offered up. There's been moments, flashes of quality, but it hasn't been a consistent Saints performance.
increases and improves their points difference, which is better than anybody else's at the top of the tree, St Helens. In all likelihood, staying at the top of the table for another round of Super League games. Catalan looking to travel well in what could well be the, or will be the final set that they have the ball in hand here. More. Dancing again. Rouget. Down. This is Theo Fage looking for a fancy pass. Kavalu did well to keep hold of that because it seemed to be slipping from his grasp, and with all those defenders around him, Rouget sticks it high. Makinson coming forward and bumps into his own man and by, but it doesn't matter because that is the end of it all. Not quite the points fest that St Helens have been enjoying in the last couple of weeks. Catalan gave them a fight here tonight, but it is yet another win for St Helens. They strengthen their place at the top of the table. Both sides might be counting the cost of injuries, especially the Dragons, after another heavy loaded night. But it's St Helens who are winners here by 24 points to 12.
Dave, John, thank you very much. Sam Tompkins and Jamie Jones-Buchanan pitchside here at St Helens, where we have seen the host emerge victorious with 2 precious competition points to take in to the break next week after a bruising encounter is probably the best way of describing it.
Yeah, there will be some sore bodies tomorrow, some huge contacts, exactly what we expected. Every time these two sides meet, it's a physical one, and we certainly got that. Saints were just too good with some special plays at times.
Let's rewind back to the pre-game show where we had question marks about the Catalan Dragons attack. More on that later. We boxed off St Helens pretty quickly, saying we're pretty confident we know what we will get with them despite the absentees. They delivered.
They certainly did. It wasn't a classic performance from St Helens, was it? There was a lot of errors, forced offloads, a lot of ricochets and opportunities to promote the ball, which didn't always go to hand or pay off. Gave Catalan opportunities and kept them in the game. But St Helens are a ruthless team, and whoever comes in to wear that Saints shirt never lets this crowd down, who goes home entertained from what they've seen tonight.
Arm wrestle for the first 40 minutes. Couldn't really separate the sides. 6-all at half-time. Second half really was controlled by St Helens.
Yeah, Catalan looked tired second half. They put a lot into the first 40. I thought Saints scoring pretty quick after half-time had a huge impact on the game, and they just got far enough in front that they were out of touching distance from Catalan. They had plenty of time, 30 minutes left. They were still in the game, but that's when Saints were